Hi, welcome back to the channel HBNR families. So in this video I'm going to show you how to cut shirts perfectly. So in this video I just want to make everyone to understand the basic shirt cutting. So I'm going to make another video on how to cut it perfectly like a pro. So there are some things you should be expecting in the cutting of the shirt, and I'm going to be explaining it now, so that when we dive into the video you won't be confused. So assuming that my chest is 36, I'm going to divide it by 4, and after dividing it by 4 I'm going to add extra 2 inches to it. So the 2 inches, one of the 2 inches is for the overlap of the front placket, and the remaining 1 inch is for the ease and for the seaming allowance. But when I want to cut the back part, I'm going to deduct 0.75, which is 3/4 of an inch, because the back side is not going to have placket. And also when I'm cutting the armhole, the back armhole must be larger than the front armhole. And the reason for that it will gives room, so that if I want to handle something at the front, the armhole should be larger, so that it will gives room for me to grab something before me. And also if we raise up our hand like this, we will notice that the back side in this place will comes out. This shows that the back side of the armhole is larger than the front side. So when I'm cutting the shirt, you will see that the back side of the armhole is bigger than the front side, so don't be confused. So these are the basic things I want you to understand before we dive into the video. So if you are just coming across this channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, so that whenever I drop any video you'll be notified. Thanks for watching HBNR. So I'm going to draw a straight line here for my starting point. After that, I'm going to mark my shoulder slope by dividing my neck by 7. So 15 divided by 7, it gives me 2.1. So I mark 2.1 here. And I'm going to mark my armhole depth, which is my chest divided by 4 minus half of an inch, which equivalent to 8.75. And I'm going to mark my waist length, which is 15 inches. And also I'm going to apply the length of my shirt, which is 25 plus 1 for the hemming allowance, which equivalent to 26. So I'm going to apply the same measurement here. So now I'm going to connect those marked area together like this. So now after that, I'm going to mark 2 1/4 here for the front placket. So I'm going to connect it together like this. So the placket is where I'm going to tag my button, and also where the buttonhole is going to locate. So after marking the placket, the next thing is to apply my neck measurement, which is 15 inches divided by 5. It's equivalent to 3 inches. So I'm going to mark 3 inches here, starting from the placket line, 3 inches here, and also I'm going to mark 3 inches here as well. So I'm going to connect it together like this. So from the second line, I'm going to apply my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 16 inches. I'm going to divide it by 2. It gives me 8 inches plus half of an inch for seaming allowance. So I marked 8.5 for my shoulder. and I'm going to connect it to the tips of the neck area like this. So I'm going to apply my chest measurement, which is 37 divided by 4. It gives me 9.25. So I'm going to mark 9.25 here, and I'm going to add extra 2 inches for it. The 2 inches is for the ease, seaming allowance, and the overlap of the front placket. So I'm going to apply my waist measurement, which is 33 divided by 4. It gives me 8.5, and I add extra 2 inches to it as well. And I'm going to apply my chest measurement here. Now I'm going to mark 2.5 here. After marking the 2.5 here, I'm going to roll a small line, and from this place to the placket line, I'm going to divide it by 2, and I'm going to mark the center. So I'm going to make my waist curve like this. I'm going to make it in that area. So I'm going to curve the neck area like this. So I'm going to mark 1 inch inward like this. In this area, I'm going to mark 1 inch inward. After marking the 1 inch, I'm going to connect it to the shoulder line. So I'm going to connect it. I'm going to make a curve on the armhole like this. So now I'm going to use my hip curve to make a side curve as well. So after that, I'm going to cut out the pattern. So I'm going to mark 0.75, which is 3/4 of an inch here, and also I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom area, because it is a must for me to deduct the placket overlap allowance from the back side, because the back side is not going to have any placket. So I've relayed the fabric like this. So now I'm going to place it starting from the 0.75 I marked. So I need to deduct the placket overlap allowance from the back side. So now I'm going to apply my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches plus half of an inch, which equivalent to 8.5. And after that, I'm going to mark 0.75 or 1 inch here. So here I'm going to mark 3 inches. So now I'm going to connect the marked area together. Now I'm going to apply the back neck measurement. So I'm going to divide 15 inches by 5, which equivalent to 3 inches, and I'm going to add extra 0.5 to it, which will equivalent to 3.5. So I'm going to mark 3.5 here for the back neck. So I'm going to mark 1.75, which is 1 3/4 here. So I'm going to draw a straight line here and I'm going to connect it. I'm going to make a curve like this. So I'm going to measure the shoulder here, which is 6 inches, and I'm going to apply 6 inches here as well. So I'm going to use my French curve to make a beat curve here. So the next thing is to cut out the back side. Now the next thing is to cut the back yoke of the back side. So I'm going to place the back like this on a fabric. So it depends on how long you want it to be, but for me it's like 8 inches. I like it to be 8 inches, so that's 8 inches or 9 inches. So this for the back area. So the next thing is to cut my sleeve. So I'm going to draw a straight line here for my starting point. After that, I'm going to divide my chest by 10, which is 37 divided by 10. It gives me 3.7. So I mark 3.7. And I'm going to connect it together like this, and after that I'm going to apply my armhole depth, which is 8.75. So after marking the armhole depth, I'm going to connect it like this, and I'm going to make a slant line here. So I'm going to take the measurement of the slant line, and now that it's equivalent to 9.5, and I'm going to divide 9.5 by 3, which will gives me 3.1. So I'm going to mark 3.1 here and also 3.1 here. So it gives me 3 equal parts, and I'm going to mark 0.5 here, and I'm going to use my French curve to make a curve. This is how our armhole is going to be. And after that, I'm going to apply my length measurement, which is 10 inches, and I'm going to add extra 1.5 inches to it for the hemming allowance. So after rolling it, I'm going to apply my biceps measurement, which is 14 inches, and I divide it by 2, which is equivalent to 7 inches, and I add 0.5 for my seaming allowance to it. So it's equivalent to 7.5. After marking the 7.5, I'm going to use my hip curve, or you can also use ruler to connect it together like this. So after I'm done with the sleeve, I'm just going to cut it out like this. So after cutting out the sleeve, I'm going to notch the center. So after notching the center, as you already know that the back armhole is larger than the front armhole, so I'm going to make a bead curve cut from the front armhole like this. So as you can see that the back side of the armhole is larger than the front side, and that's how I'm going to fix it to the clothes also. This is how it looks like.